Hey guys, hope you guys are doing well. This is Sean from IELTS Education, and today we'll discuss IELTS writing tips. We're going to talk about the three things that really help in changing your score of IELTS writing from the dreaded 6.5 to a 7. That's the biggest issue, right? I got a call yesterday, one of my students, now it's a new student, but this student called me signing up for classes because she got an 8 in listening, I think 7.5, and then another 8.5 in something. Everything was good, but this student got a 5.5 in writing. How does that happen? Someone with such good English can get such a low score. Well, it's not unheard of, and I've had people getting all 8s and a 6.5 in writing. The thing is, I think IELTS knows that we need a 7. I mean, they definitely know that, right? It's the requirement for universities, it's the requirement for immigration, and that drives demand. If you fail, though, you get to pay more money to IELTS to book another exam, and they'll most likely fail you again if you don't take good coaching or don't have good preparation. So it's a big problem to get over the 6.5, and there are lots of secrets when we talk about the secret sauce for IELTS. One of them is, of course, proper grammar, better vocab, good sentences. A lot of those things really come with proper coaching. You can never write something and tell yourself that I deserve an 8. You do need a teacher for that. So if you guys are interested in our lessons, my email is in the description. Please feel free to email and ask about the lessons. We have some really cost-effective lessons with flexible schedules. But other than that, we'll discuss the three main things that I could cover in a YouTube video, but there are lots. When we start our classes, we take 2 hours just to explain the writing strategies. In IELTS, it's complicated. But today, let's talk about the three. The first strategy for IELTS reading that I want to discuss, I mean, there's many, but the one that I would discuss is topic sentence and concluding sentence. So this is very often ignored. Let's talk about the topic sentence first. The topic sentence is the first sentence you're going to write in every paragraph. This will be in your body 1, body 2, body 3. We don't call the intro and conclusion paragraphs with the topic sentence. We don't associate it there, but we use it for the body paragraphs, whether you're doing 2 bodies or 3 bodies. And yes, I'm talking about task 2 today because that's where most people fail, and that has most marks as well. Okay, so the topic sentence is something that everybody does in writing magazines, newspapers, and in books, so you should do it too. In IELTS, it's also needed. The topic sentence explains the main idea of your paragraph. So if my whole paragraph, let's say I'm talking about animal rights, and I'm talking about how they're living creatures, and it's a social issue, it's an ethical issue that we are killing them when they have feelings, and we should treat them with some sort of humanity. If I'm saying all of this, and my topic sentence is very simple, and it simply says, we shouldn't kill animals, that is a terrible topic sentence because it has nothing to do with what I'm saying in the body paragraph. So if in the body paragraph I'm talking about, animal rights and ethics and so on, my topic sentence should have one of those words. So it should be something like, it is clear or it's apparent that the ruthless killing of animals is a clear violation of the ethical and social norms that govern our society. So now, first of all, I did put some fancy words because we're talking about a good score, but I put words of social and ethical in there. I put violation of their rights, I think, because this is what my whole paragraph is about. So I gotta make sure whatever I say in the topic sentence is relevant to the rest of my paragraph. It should be done in a way that the reader reads the first sentence and they have a clear idea of what the whole paragraph is about. They don't even need to read the rest of the paragraph. Okay, that's what the topic sentence does. So make sure it includes your main idea. Now, when we talk about the concluding sentence wraps up the idea of your body paragraph. So it will be something like hence, therefore, thus, anything like that. And then you simply wrap up the idea of the paragraph. For example, in this case, I would say, therefore, the killing, I want to use something fancy. Therefore, the death brought on to animals by human activities or needs is a clear, well, I said clear earlier, is is a contradiction to the ethical rules we set for ourselves. So now, again, using fancy words, but importantly, I have wrapped up the idea of my body paragraph. So concluding sentences are supposed to do that. You shouldn't have a concluding sentence in every paragraph. This is another thing. This is another secret. When we talk about IELTS, we talk about variety. So if you give the examiner a good variety, 2 concluding sentences in body 1 and 2, and in body 3, no concluding sentence. It is optional. So do it in some places, not in every place. But it will at least show the examiner that, first of all, you know how to do it. Next, you chose versatility, like you decide to do it somewhere, not everywhere. And that's going to give you a mark because you have the topic sentence, concluding sentence, and variety, plus you have a very clear answer with it. That brings me to my second point, a clear answer. You could have excellent grammar, vocab, you could have everything, but the examiner still feels that you didn't answer the question. So you get a 6.5, not a 7. This is the problem with humans marking your exam. If a computer marks it, it's objective, but humans will be subjective. Let me give you an example. Let's say we're talking about cloning, okay, cloning human beings, and you said that it's a bad thing, it shouldn't happen. Now you write in your paragraph that it's a bad thing because people can deceive each other, and if you deceiving is not a good thing, and it's gonna be bad for the society. Now you feel that you have answered the negative part of cloning, but the examiner says, well, you're talking about deception and deceiving. You're not talking about cloning, so you haven't really answered the question. I'll give you a 6. Now, what you should do to make sure examiners don't do this, and there's no excuse for them to say that you haven't answered the question, think about why and how. Okay, so if cloning is giving deception, how is that making deception, or how is that a lie? Well, okay, it's because people can have multiple identities, and the other identity could be using their name and their face as into let's say into unethical unethical manners, which is why it's not reflecting the real person, and that's why it is deception. This is why. In the same paragraph, if I want to elaborate it more, if I have words, I can talk about how. Now I can give an example. I can say, for example, someone who has a great criminal background, who is a family guy, could be cloned, and his clone could go out there and commit crimes, which would lead to his personality being deceived and him getting into trouble because of the false because of the false clone. Now you have given the examiner how. If you give these 2 things in one body paragraph, the examiner will never say you haven't answered the question. You'll be specific, you'll have an example, and you will answer the question. You won't be able to do it every time, especially if you're making 3 bodies. You wouldn't be able to say why and how in every body, but at least you can say 1 why in one body, 1 how in one body. Okay? Don't not do this. Make sure you do this to get your task response marks. Okay, tip number 3 is about the complex sentences. So we have talked about vocab and complex sentences before on this channel, multiple times actually. But if I have to give a little summary here, vocab, every time, there's so many words you could use for better vocab. Instead of good, you can say spectacular, excellent. Instead of bad, you can say detrimental, degrading, whatever. That's always there. About complex sentences, make sure to use words at the beginning of the sentence that will help you divide the sentence into 2 parts. For example, if I say considering, I can say considering the lack of funding in the forestation projects, comma, the government has to take measures to improve budgets. I made this sentence into 2 parts. I said considering at the start. That helped me break the sentence into 2 parts. If I didn't say considering, I would have said, we need money, we need budgets for the forest, so government should give us the money, right? So when I say considering, I can break it into 2 parts. There's lots of other words you could use at the start of the sentence to make it complex. Considering is one I used. You can say because, since, due to, while, whether, as a result of, although, as. Okay, all of these words, if you use them at the start, you will be able to break the sentence into two parts. Again, you can pause the video, go back and write it down while I'm talking. And if I pick any one of those words, let me give you another example. I said due to, right? So same thing, I can say due to the lack of funding in the forestation project, comma, we're not able to develop enough forests. So these are called complex sentences. This is the third secret of IELTS writing. Examiners love complex sentences. How many should you have? 5. In one task 2, you should have 5 complex sentences. That's what's required. That's what they're looking for, not more. Because if you do more, it's not bad, but your words will get too many. And then you should also have the rest of the sentences as simple ones, because they need a mixture of complex and simple sentences too. So within this third point, there are a few things. One is to do complex sentences, which is, again, one sentence broken down into 2 parts. Do only 5 of them, don't do more. And again, keep a mixture of those 5 complex plus the other simple sentences. Hope this helps. I really wish you guys can use these techniques to get over a 6.5 and get a 7. They might not be enough. As I said, there are a million more things to do. So if you need more lessons, if you need more coaching, let me know. You definitely need a teacher for grammar marking and feedback on your progress to let you know where you stand. If you just need an assessment, you want to just figure out where you are right now, you can let me know as well. We do a free assessment to begin. And I hope that really helps. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or send an email. Please subscribe and you'll get a lot of this content in the near future. Thank you guys. Take care.